Today's video is all about 7 different incomes, 7 income streams. And growing up in the entrepreneurial world, I caught on to this trend very early. I really didn't understand the 7 income streams, but I did understand through trial and error and going through the trial and error, kind of like a beta test of me understanding it, failing my way. I caught it, I latched on it, and later on, after making multiple 7 figures, then only did I realize my mistakes and how I can correct it. There's 7 different incomes, but 7 different income streams. It all boils down to, understanding that the wealthiest people in the world, they focus on one, they master it, and then they swap gears and switch gears into the next one. And most people want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I don't want you to focus on 1, 2, 3, 10, 15 and master none. I want you to focus on 1. I want you to master it, and then want you to develop other streams of income that does not distract you from the very first one. And when you look at the wealthiest people in the world, and I start to look at the Forbes list, number 2 in the world is Bill Gates, and he's got over 4,000 different streams of income. And you look at number 3, who's Warren Buffett, and he has over 2,400 streams of income. And people like Richard Branson has over 440 streams of income. And what is the common denominator? They all have more than 7 streams of income, but they all understand the 7 the different streams of income, and how you differentiate the different incomes, the different companies you launch, etc. So you got to earn income, and most people don't understand that earned income is a normal 9 to 5. It's where you have a job, and most people don't like it, but that's how you start. That's how you start off. You just got to understand there's pros and cons to each and every one of the income streams I'm about to talk to you about right now. But you also have to understand that going through these incomes, I'm going to start off from worst to best, and from where most people would start. Right now as we speak, there's close to 8 billion people in the world, and over 2.5 billion people right now employed. They work a 9 to 5. When you look at JOB, it stands for Journey Off the Broke, or just over broke. It's not a bad thing. It's going to put food on your table, but it's going to keep you there. It's not going to allow you to grow. It's not going to allow you to develop the person who you deserve to be. Let's go through the pros and the cons. The pros are, there's security. You might think there's security, but there is security. Living in Africa, you get paid once a month. You guarantee to get paid once a month if you have a job. Living in Oceania, New Zealand, Australia, you generally get paid 1 time a week. And then USA is about 2 times a month. And sometimes, you might just collect 1 check a month, but there's constant income, there's security. There's also benefits. Some people actually get benefits, such as you might get an allowance on a car, you might get insurance, you might get medical aid, or retirement annuity at the end of your career. But there's perks. There's also an annual increase, and maybe it might be 3%, maybe it might be 5%, but you got to understand that's the pros. That's what you're starting to develop. And then you have the cons on the other side of the page, the other side of the book, the other side of life, because for every pro there's always a con. As much as I said there's security, as much as I said there's constant income, there's also, recessions that take place. And when there's a recession, that security starts to drop. Another con is time. Think about this for a moment. When you're working a job, you don't have time. You literally confined into this 2x2 or 4x4 office, and that leads me to my next con, which is a mental blockage. Mental blockage meaning, they tie you in and you stuck, and it doesn't allow you to grow. It doesn't allow you to develop. It doesn't allow you to become the person you deserve to be, and the desired result. And when I look at the strongest foundation in the world, a pyramid, and you look at a job, we think we're going to climb the corporate ladder. And it's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. It's where my parents started off, my mom and my dad. It's where my sister started on. It's where my sister's husband started. It's where most of my mentees start off. I'm not against it, because if there was no people working a 9 to 5, there would not be people at restaurants, at car dealerships, at hotels, at airports, etc. So a pyramid is where the guy at the top makes the money, and it's unfortunate that there's only 1, 2, 3 CEOs splitting the 100%, and the guys right in the bottom, they think they're going to climb right to the top, and it's virtually impossible for them to be a CEO unless they're working 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs a day. But there's that mental blockage leading me into income number 2 is profit income. Profit income, if you don't know, is selling something for more than it costs. So for example, you buy something for $2, you sell it for $4, you're making $2. That's your profit income. So it's way better than earned income, because now there's a pro, which is you kind of dictate your own time. If you want to be able to work 24 hours a day, you can. You dictate your own time, you dictate your own passion. So if you love a specific niche, well, guess what? You control your own life. And then you have, the cons, which is capital. You need finances to back yourself. You also have a risk. You got to take on that risk. No one's going to take that risk for you. And from capital to risk to no stability in income, because going out there and earning profit income, you've got to take out money from your back pocket, put it in front, invest into your own business to generate that profit, and you kind of have to write your own checks, because there's no stability on earned income where you're getting paid on a monthly basis. Number 3 is interest income. And interest income is where you would put money in the bank and you would generate interest on what you actually invested into the bank. Now, the pros to that is it's constant monthly income. The con is it's minimal growth. Yes, there's also, it's very safe. So that's a good pro, because, it's low risk, but it's also very safe, for a fact that it's fixed. It's a fixed percentage versus you going out and investing somewhere else and trying to earn an income or an interest on that. There's also a breakage fee, and that's the problem. So for example, if you're financially strapped 6 months later and you might need to withdraw your funds, you got to pay that, you got to pay up front. You got to pay a fee, a breakage fee, where you need the money. And sometimes most people don't prepare. They don't plan for the breakage. They don't plan for, hey, I'm going to take it out in 6 months, when they plan 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, but it is safe. Then you get something called dividend income. And dividend income is passive, but it makes you a shareholder in the company. So the pro is it's passive income. And passive income, so when you look at the word rich, R-I-C-H, residual income, creates happiness. You have to have faith in the board, the board of directors, to know that it's passive. You have the right type of people representing the company. It's also lucrative, because when you put your money in, for a fact that it's stable. Okay, it's also the cheapest way to go out there and build up an income. The con is there's no guarantee. Anything can happen tomorrow. You could literally wake up tomorrow morning, the company could not be there. It might go public and eventually fizzle out. Just depends on who the shareholders are. It just depends on who's the board of directors, who's the chairman, etc. Number 5 is rental income. It's something that I only learned 5 years later. It's where you have commercial and residential properties, where you put money in and you invest into a property where you generate an income from it. It also, nowadays, you can rent cars. You buy these exotic cars, or even you have your own rental agency of car dealership, where people would pay you for the day for X amount of miles, etc. But majority is commercial and residential properties. And I started to realize now more than ever that it's that mediocrity, that medium household where people are going to pay. I got multiple properties that have tapped into more of the high end, and it's my fault that I have to bite the bullet and take a bit less than normal, because we're going through a recession, not just each continent, but the entire world. So there's pros and cons to rental income, but you got to understand, the pro is, yes, when you got a tenant and it's long-term lease agreement, you're tying them down. The con is that if you've taken a bond, or you've signed an agreement with the bank and they financed you, and you don't have a tenant that's going to pay you constant income, well, guess what? You got to cough that up. So also the con is you're tying yourself down. Most people tie themselves down to 10, 20, 30 years to pay off that debt. So, the pro is, besides it being low risk, you can't really lose on tangible assets today. Number 6, capital gains. What is capital gains? Well, capital gains is the money you get as a result of increase in value of the assets. So for example, if you buy a property for $200,000 and you sell it for $250,000, capital gains is $50,000. Now the pro is, it's actually holding assets, not holding cash. So which is better. You always tie down the pro is also, it's easy to sell. It's very easy to sell when you have an asset, but you might not get the type of price you want if you're cash strapped. The con is there's certain, in certain countries, there's also tax implications, which is a bit higher for capital gains. And there's another con, long-term investment strategy. Certain people get tied down to the long-term rather than short-term where you can pull out your money. Number 7 is royalty income. This is the best of the best. Gets me excited. There's 2 types of royalty income. Number 1, you creating a product or service or something where maybe you're a movie director, or you're an actor, or even a artist, and you're getting paid royalty, dead or alive. That's where you create your legacy. The second part of royalty income is where you, let's just say, invest into a franchise like Starbucks or McDonald's. You don't own it, but you don't own the franchise. You own the shop, the restaurant, and you buying into the franchise, you're investing into the franchise, so you're kind of buying the logo, you're buying the rights to market. They set it up for you, so you take a percentage of the royalty income, they take a percentage of the royalty income. They're not there, but once again, you have 10, 20, 30, 40 restaurants, and it's well renowned. You're going out there and generating constant income. The pro to that is, for a fact you're creating a legacy. The con to that, if you don't have the right legal team to get everything documented, cross the T's, dot the I's, and make sure everything is aligned and you're doing things the right way, then you might not go down in the right books. I mean, for example, I've seen many artists go out there, blow up, and they don't have the right type of agreements signed. So those are your 7 streams of income. I don't just want you to diversify. I want you to get educated so you make the right type of decisions, because the decisions you make today financially will determine the person you are, the bank account you have, and most importantly, the freedom you have 6 months from today. The reason you are where you are right now is because of the decisions you made 6 months ago. I want you to comment below. Tell me what you've taken out of this video. Tell me what you've gained. And most importantly, tell me what, out of the 7, what is your majority? Is it capital gains? Is it rental income? Is it, a 9-to-5? Is it royalty income? What is your main source of income? And from me to you, from the millionaire student to the student, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, post a comment below, hit the like, share this with your friends, your family if you find this valuable, and I look forward to catching you on the next video.